Hey, today we're watching. I gave birth to a puppy in jail. My story anime, and I have nothing to say. Let's just dive right in.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I am 14 years old.
So, Sophia over here is one of those animated story tropes. The pregnant 14/13-year-old, and rom coms have the not straight black best friend, but my story animated channels have pregnant minors. Well, more specifically, 13/14-year-olds. Also, what the heck is this background? It's so lazy. They just drew over a stock image. This is the worst thing you can do. Well, it's not, actually. If the story is good, then the low budget can be forgiven. But in this case, I don't think they can pull it up with a fantastic story. So they had to depend on those visuals, even if it wouldn't save them. But look at this. What is that? A boat? Houses? I'm not even sure. I think it's a boat, but it's such a stock image. Like you couldn't even bother tracing it.
I am cheerful and innocent.
She is cheerful and innocent. They can't show us how, in what way she's cheerful and innocent, or they can't show her doing cheerful and innocent things. She has to tell us directly, like right into the camera.
My dad is a businessman. He is strict.
Oh, her dad is a businessman. Classic. The businessman dad is a very common trope in fan fiction, and now my story animated. Who knew?
He loves me, though. I miss my mother. Her death made me emotionally weak.
Oh my goodness, it's the dead Disney mother trope. So now we have seen three types of tropes. One of them, the fanfic business dad. The other one, the pregnant 14-year-old of story animated. And now the dead Disney mom. Great job. And we're not even 30 seconds into this video and we already spotted three tropes. Uh, Emotionally weak. And they couldn't even draw a tombstone for the mother. Like, they didn't even put the name on the tombstone. Wow. Just wow. Maybe this is the Disney trope because usually the mother is barely mentioned. And I don't think we usually know their names. I don't think it matters. I give him credit for that. That's very symbolic. Great job. Share my story animated?
I am treated like a princess in my house by the maids and caretakers that keep for me.
Of course you are. Your mother's dead.
I am back to my school days after a thrilling tragedy of my life.
The differences in animation is just funny. This girl looks like her eyes are from Family Guy, and this other girl just looks like a cutout from somewhere. Just saying.
It was my birthday party. My boyfriend threw a party for me in the pub.
Whoa there. And a pub? Aren't you guys like 13, 14? What are you doing at the pub? What is this? Europe? I'm pretty sure if you go to Europe, you can't go to the pub if you're 13. What you can do is drink a glass or two, maybe, with your parents and your kitchen table with a meal if you're young. But you can't just go to the pub. What kind of Europe is this?
The party hanged up. We were totally drunk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not Europe. You can't just get drunk as a minor. Like I said before, one glass or two maybe with a meal with your parents. But these people, they got drunk. Maybe they're not European. Maybe they're just irresponsible children.
I had lost my consciousness, and it was not possible for me to go home, so Matthew took me to his house. He made me sleep in his room, but I was feeling something special for him.
Matthew did not make you sleep in his room. Look at that face. This does not look like someone who was made to sleep in somebody else's room. No, no, no. Matthew doesn't look like that type of guy. Look at just how they animated it. Animated him. I'm sorry, Matthew. You're not an object. We should really stop this in animated stories. He did not make you do anything, girl. Stop.
I lost my control. Perhaps he lost it too, and a physical relationship developed between us from that night.
Yeah, guys, she lost her control. This is clearly showing how they lost their control.
The routine life was going well, and one day I felt nausea and fatigue too. I ignored it, but after a few days I saw some changes in my belly, and I was scared.
The routine life was going well. Does anybody talk like that? Is everybody's routine life going well? Let me know.
I was pregnant. We were both frozen.
See, I'll give him credit for this. You know, the animation is so stiff that when she said frozen, it actually evoked that. And that's why I was complaining about before whenever they said, oh, we were so out of control and they weren't showing that. So, yes, it's not just a showy thingy. It's not, the animation should be good, not just to show off, but just to show what they're saying. If they're frozen, we should see them frozen, which is what they did here. Great job with the budget there. But then before, whenever they said they were losing control, they weren't showing that. So that's why I got mad at that. Okay, I give credit where credit is due.
Soon my dad arrived at the hospital. The doctor had informed me about my pregnancy, as he was much renowned in the city. He was fuming. He rushed at me and took me home immediately. He was so offended that he decided to put me in the prison for my mistake the next day.
Oh, what about he decided to put me in a prison for getting pregnant at 14? What about the law? He can't just put anybody he wants in prison just because they did something that he didn't like. Where's the law? What kind of parallel Europe is this? What the heck? What's going on?
I went to my room and burst into tears. It was an accident. I didn't want to be pregnant.
See, even she admits it was kind of an accident. She doesn't say, oh, Matthew did it. You know, even she knew that Matthew didn't make her sleep in his room.
The next day he took me to the jail. A jail made for me only.
Let me get this straight. So this man built this jail exclusively for his daughter, and somehow the law didn't find out about this. This is this is shenanigans. I can't with this story.
I tried to talk to him, but no use. He had decided to do so. His reputation was scratched. He would punish me like I was a line on the rock.
So she says something about her damaging his reputation, but I think in this universe where 13-year-olds get pregnant all the time, it wouldn't be such a big deal if she was pregnant, you know. But incarcerating his daughter for getting pregnant and just depriving her of basic human rights will probably scratch his reputation a lot more. Just suggesting.
He left me to the jail crying. The jail was like a little room, and there was a jailer madam appointed for me. She used to take care of me, offered me meals 2 times a day, but kept me alone in the dark prison the whole night. I was guilty. I was scared. I was afraid. I missed Matthew. I wanted to run, but failed.
I wanted to run but failed. They don't show us her running. But maybe she meant that she wanted to run, but she didn't run because they were too lazy to animate it. So I'll let that one slide. But I see you share my story animated. I see you.
Neither I wanted the child nor the jailer punishment.
I wonder if the father wanted the child to be born. Because if he didn't, he would do something different than this. And if he does want it, then why is he putting his daughter in a jail cell, essentially, in the darkness, where she can only eat 2 meals a day? Isn't that bad for the baby? I'm pretty sure it's bad for the baby. Like, why would he do this? What is his motivation here? I'm really curious to know, because this isn't doing anything either way. It's just harming his interests either way. Like there's a more efficient way to do either one of these things, and he's not doing either of them. He's just taking this illogical, nonsensical way to do things just so we can have a story. And I don't like that. That is scummy. It tastes scummy. Like a scum.
Thousands of thoughts ran across my mind. I used to sleep with all such weird thoughts and tears off. I was in the hospital with all that pregnancy pains.
But you just went straight from there to delivering the baby. So, what the heck? Where's the transition? I need transitions.
The doctor was a devil. He didn't care about my pain and delivered me in no time.
What does delivered her in no time mean? He like pulled the baby out of her? I'm pretty sure he can't do that. Like the delivery time depends on the mother and the baby if it wants to come out and she's pushing. So I don't understand this. And isn't the delivery being fast good? I think they meant that he didn't clean the baby thoroughly enough because that's something that the doctors can't control. They can leave it all bloody and stuff. So I think that's what they meant.
Mostly a sound of a puppy. I was stunned. It was my baby's sound? I had given birth to a dog. I had given birth to a dog.
This line is just I don't know what to say about it. But I am a little confused because if she was gonna give birth to a puppy, why did she give birth to a litter of puppies? This doesn't make any sense. Puppies dogs rarely have one puppy. At least in my what I've seen, not my experience. I haven't given birth to any dogs, but I've seen dogs give birth, and they give birth to a litter of puppies usually. So why did she just have one? Is it because we were too lazy to animate more puppies or more bundles of cloth in this case?
The idiot nurse gave him in my hand.
Whoa, why are people so mean to nurses these days? The doctor was the one who delivered your baby quick, I guess that's what you said. So why are you being rude to the nurse like that? I don't understand. Respect your medical professionals, please. Stop this.
I was a human. How could my child be a dog? No one will accept me, not even Matthew. Everyone would laugh.
Honestly, if they saw this video and they knew what idea if they knew that someone came up with this idea or a story, they would laugh. But I think if this happened in real life, they wouldn't laugh. They'd just be like, "You're a liar. Shut up." And they look at the puppy and be like, how could this even happen? And then according to this story, you don't even have an answer unless you have something to tell Matthew, in which case, yikes. And what the heck is the biology behind this? This is insane. This is just insane. People won't laugh at you if you told them that you had a puppy. They'd just be like, you're insane.
And I took the knife from the fruit basket and was
There's just a knife chilling in the fruit bowl. Who has a knife in their fruit bowl? Do you guys have knives in your fruit bowls? Because I don't. And in a hospital, what the heck is a fruit basket with a knife in it, directly next to a woman who was in labor, who is 13 years old, who probably is going through a lot at this point in her life, and who went to this jail. Speaking of the jail, are the nurses and the doctors also working with the father, and the father built this hospital? Because this isn't adding up. Like, why aren't they calling the police? At least a little bit, And why are they putting a knife right next to her? Oh my goodness. I can't. There's just so many plot holes already, and this story isn't even 5 minutes long. And can you believe that? Imagine if it was 10 minutes long. Like, what kind of madness would this story go to?
I woke up. It was a dream. I was dreaming.
Boo! Cop out. This was such a cop out. What the heck? See, this premise wouldn't have worked anyway. They wrote themselves into a corner right from the title. Like, I was gonna give the story a 2 out of 10, but now that it copped out completely, I'm gonna give it a 0 out of 10. I'm disappointed like I wasn't even expecting much when I started watching this, and now that I've watched it, I feel even more disappointed. Like it's like if you hit rock bottom and then you think it's over, you hit rock bottom, but then rock bottom opens up and then you hit another rock bottom. That's how I feel right now. Like I didn't think this could get any worse, but it somehow did. 0 out of 10. Cop out.
I was completely broken now.
She was completely broken now. That broke her more than her mom dying. You see, this is why you can't just pull the Disney trope anytime you want. You have to actually incorporate it into the story and make sure that it doesn't contradict anything. You can't just say, oh, her mom died just to make us feel sympathy. No. It either has to have a purpose or just let her mother live. Or I guess her purpose was not to stop the father from putting his daughter in jail. But then why mention the mom at all? It just seems irrelevant.
Strange ideas evolved in my mind. I began to consider myself as a crazy being, or a witch, or a cursed girl.
Just because you had a nightmare? Grow up, Giselle. What the heck is wrong with you? You just had a nightmare that you gave birth to a puppy and try to do something else. So, like, girl, just why do you consider yourself so special just because you had a bad dream? I mean, I've never had a dream like that, but you I probably have some really bad dreams and I wouldn't consider myself a witch or anything. So, very privileged you think you are. It's probably because your dad is a businessman or whatever. I don't feel any sympathy for you, Giselle.
The jailer madam made me told my dad about my condition, and he came to the prison to take me back home after a period of 7 days.
So it was the jail madam telling him that convinced himself that her daughter was not in a good place. Like that's what made him realize that keeping his daughter in this jail probably wasn't the best idea. Her telling him, not seeing her daughter suffer or seeing how crazy she was being driven by this act that was done against the law. This is insane. I need some water.
He took me to the hospital. I dropped the baby.
You dropped the baby? You mean you had the baby, you delivered the baby, you gave birth to the baby? What do you mean you dropped the baby? You don't stand there and then just wait for the baby to fall. You're even laying down. What's going on? Okay. All right.
I didn't say a word to him, rather smiled. That smile had a magic, maybe. It turned my dad to tears. My dad, for the first time, gave me a tight hug.
That was the first time your dad gave you a hug in your entire life. I thought you said he loved you a lot. I am so confused. You see how many plot holes this has? You see, goodness, he's such a. I didn't even like him already, and now I like him even less. So even before you had your child, he didn't have the. He didn't hug you. Even fathers who go get cigarettes hug their kids. That was a joke.
And said sorry for what he did.
So what if he said sorry? He still broke the law. You should call the police on this man. Oh my gosh. He shouldn't even be hugging you right now. I didn't even think about that earlier. Goodness. Giselle, call the police.
I was happy, though. I was driven to a worse incident, and I got my dad.
I don't have any final thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. This feels so weird. I'm sorry for keeping you this long, but I just had to break down this story and why it was the worst of all of them. I mean, the my animated stories can get pretty wacky, but this one got wacky and didn't embrace it. It just stopped. It copped out because they knew they were gonna write themselves into a corner with this. They knew it from the beginning, and instead of either starting over or keeping the premise, they decide to eat us like that, and that's not right. We shouldn't conform with this. So, thank you for watching.